Yeah, Paul, there have been arguments about the extent to which these witnesses could talk about their injuries because the defense position was, hey, whatever happened after the shooting, however long they convalesced, whatever impact it had on their lives, that's irrelevant. We don't want to hear that. But the court's been pretty open about allowing that kind of discussion by these witnesses. What do you think?
I'm not surprised that the court is open. This case has such incredible national media attention. It's grabbing headlines left and right. The court doesn't want to kind of foreclose on giving these victims the opportunity to be heard. And I think that's a lot of what we're seeing is the court system in some fashion trying to give these victims the tiniest bit of closure in a way that they've never been able to, and they probably never will again. So I think that's probably what we're seeing here and why there's been a bit of leniency with what they've been allowed to go into.
Yeah, and I can see the defense argument because if we're talking about aggravating and mitigating factors, what really do those things have to do with it, the impact of those injuries? So let's listen to some of the arguments that took place. This was outside the presence of the jury. How much should these injuries be focused on, and what should the jury actually be shown? Let's watch. Okay, so Judge Elizabeth Shearer said, if they want to put this stuff on, I don't know that there's any rule. Well, there is a rule, and that's the weighing that she has to do. Is the probative outweighed by the prejudice? The judge has to do this all the time. So there is a rule, and I think it seems to me, Paul Townsend, that it's been more like, let the floodgates flow. You want to challenge it on appeal, good luck. What do you think?
I would agree. There is certainly the rule. They articulated the rule, and it involves the balancing act, as you talked about. But I see, even as a defense attorney, I see where the prosecution is going with this. This is relevant to put it in context, according to them. And yes, I understand that he has pled guilty, but the jury, in making the determination about the death penalty or life in prison, is entitled to kind of put the crime in context is the frame that they use. And so lingering injuries, I imagine the state is going to argue, put the crime in context. They really describe the devastation that this act did. So I understand where they're coming from. And I applaud the Cruz's attorney for making the argument that it's not relevant, that it is unduly prejudicial. But I think I see where the judge is coming from and saying this is kind of part of what they're allowed to do.